All right, so we've learned about HTML, including page structure, tag syntax, attributes, and more. But HTML by itself is very ugly, as you've seen. So we need CSS or cascading style sheets to make our markup or HTML look presentable. So the goal of this section is to look at the fundamental CSS properties for things like fonts, colors, alignment, positioning, etc. Now, this section after this will be creating an actual website project, but I didn't want to jump right into that, right into a full project, because I want you guys to really understand what's going on and understand what these properties are doing, rather than just jump into a website project and have you copy the code and just follow along. If you're really comfortable with basic CSS, feel free to skip around. But even if you've worked with CSS before, I think that there'll be things in this section that will still help you out, that you can still learn. So here's a list of what we'll be going over in this section. I'm going to show you how to actually implement CSS. There's a few different ways. We're going to look at basic selectors so that we can actually grab different elements, whether it's by the tag name or the ID, the class. We'll look at fonts and colors and different properties, different color types like hexadecimal, RGB. We're going to look at backgrounds and borders, including background colors, background images, box model and margin and padding. We're going to look at what the box model is, what exactly margin is, where that spacing goes, where the padding goes, floating and alignment. Okay, now there are more modern ways to align things on a page, such as Flexbox and the grid system, and we're going to get into that later on. This section is all about just core basic CSS. Okay, we're also going to be looking at the display property, so display inline, display block, inline block. We'll look at styling links and buttons, creating menus such as a horizontal navigation menu as well as a vertical menu, positioning, so relative positioning, absolute, fixed, and so on, form styling, and then we're also going to be using the Google Chrome Dev Tools quite a bit to look at the HTML and CSS, as well as like the computed CSS and stuff like that. All right, so just like with the last section, we're going to have a sandbox. So this will be the CSS sandbox, where we're going to have a different file for different aspects of the section, different aspects of CSS, and you can keep this and use it if you ever need to go back to. And these files will be included in the lecture downloads. And then after this section, we're going to start putting everything together, and we're going to build a simple hotel website.